just arrived. How long have you been here?
About 2 months thereabouts at the moment.
Yeah,
About 2
about
months.
2 months. Okay, so just tell us a little bit about your experience this first 2 months and some of the things you advise international students when they are moving to Finland.
Yeah, it's quite a very interesting experience, I must say. But moving to a new country comes with its own challenges. That is a fact that we should all know. So when I first came in, I think when you talk about how friendly the Finns are, they are actually friendly. They are welcoming people, and it's actually a very great place to live in. The only challenge at the initial stage was the language barrier. Although this was because the northern parts, which I'm currently staying, it's a place that most of them they speak English, but most of them like to stick with their languages. So I think that was one of the major challenges I had when I came in. But at the moment, I think I'm actually enjoying myself. I went for a couple of tourist events about a week ago at Kalayoki. It was a great experience for me, and I think it's a place to actually live in, and it offers the best opportunities you can ever think of. If I may say.
Okay. So just to be clear, so your school is a vocational school and
Yeah.
you don't pay fees, right?
Yeah, vocational schools is one of the motivating factors. I just finished studying in Poland, and I paid a lot of fees. So I wouldn't want to come for another program where I will pay fees. So that was one of the reasons I came in for vocational school. It's pretty free. Even in some vocational schools, I have a friend in Helsinki whose school is also a vocational school. Apart from being free, they all even offer them free laptops, free feeding. So it's pretty good. You
Yeah,
don't need to pay. You don't need to pay any money. It's free.
yeah, that's true because in Helsinki Business College also they give I've worked I've worked there so I know more about it. They give free laptops to students and when you graduate you can take the laptop with you. So vocational schools in Finland really provide so much for students. And about jobs, just maybe 1 minute to share about it. Are you working? Do you have a part-time job? You don't need to
Yeah,
tell us the exact job, just like do you have a part-time job? Was it difficult for you to find a part-time job?
yeah. It was tough at the initial stage, but we should all give glory to God. I was able to get something
Yeah.
better.
Thank God. I'm glad just 2 months you already have
Yeah,
a part-time job. So like
yeah.
we really thank God and about it's a little bit it's getting cold. So I hope you're managing
Ah,
with the cold as well.
it's breaking code, yeah. Although I'm a little bit used to it because I stayed also in the northern part of Poland at
Yeah,
some
yeah.
point for about a year, so it was also cold there. But here is a little bit colder, but we don't have any alternative. We need to manage it. We need to live with it.
Yeah. And you get used to,
Yeah.
the more you live here, the more you get used to getting the right clothes and you can manage the cold. So yeah. I just wanted to talk about your vocational school, the one you're in, and your advice to international students because as we all know, Vamia is a big deal. Like everyone is rushing to Vamia because
Exactly.
it's kind of like the only vocational school in Finland at the moment in English, and everyone wants it. So, and you all know when you have so many applicants, then the criteria is like really high. So I
Exactly.
just wanted to give a couple of advice to this those that are watching or are gonna watch this later on.
Yeah. I think one of the first advice I would like to give is being proactive as an applicant. What I mean about being proactive is that Statistics shows that about 90% of the courses offered by these vocational schools in Finland are taught in Finnish. So if I were you, what I would start to do is to start to learn the language, even if it's possible to learn it up to about A2 level of proficiency. This will actually go a long way to tell how soon you'll be able to get admission into any of these vocational schools. Because once you can prove to the schools that you are competent or you are proficient in this language, then they don't have any other option than to accept you. Even within a month, you'll be able to get something. I'm very sure about that. So if you can try, just start. Just start. That's just the word. Just start learning the language. Then it will actually broaden the opportunities that you can easily access. So I think that was the first advice I would like to give. The second advice I would like to give is being detailed. Being detailed. That means during your application process, during your visa processing, you need to be detailed. You need to extract everything that is included in the requirements, because those are the things that actually matter when it comes to getting the positive or the negative decision. If they tell you that, okay, bring at least 560 euro per month, you should be able to present a document that reflects that you have such money in your account. They tell you that, okay, you need to get IELTS, just like in the case of Vamia, you need to know that, okay, if I don't have the IELTS at the moment, I need to go for it. Know the requirements, what you actually want, and make sure you acquire it as soon as possible. And during this process of visa application or resident permit application, being detailed will actually help you to overcome so many errors or mistakes that can cost you the lifetime opportunity. So you need to be very detailed. So I think that's the second advice I have. And the last advice is internet is your friend. Always know that you need to identify the right people to contact. Just like in the case of Tabi, she's well experienced, and I must commend her about that. She's well experienced. So she's somebody that you can actually contact. She's free, she's accessible. Because I could remember when I had this issue, out of her tight schedule, she actually made up about an hour for me to meet with her on Zoom. It's something that is commendable. Not everybody can actually sacrifice their convenience to help others. So contact people who are right, who have the right knowledge, the right experience, because it's when you as in your level of success actually depends on the people you move with, the people that mentor you, and the people you take advice from. So identify the right people, get close to them, ask questions. Don't work on assumption, because most times assumption will actually lead to error. So I think that's my take at the moment.
Thank you so much. And I love what you said. Like, don't just go through this journey based on assumptions, because universities are updating their criteria. Like, there's so much update going on. So don't say my friend said, this one said, this one said. Like you mentioned, you need to contact the right people. And even before you reach out to me, you had already sent emails to the university. And that's why I always say, like, I encourage you all on my channel. When I talk about a particular program, when I talk about a particular university, go back. That's why I leave a link to that university so that you can contact them directly. You don't just base on assumptions, because if you were like, you had, okay, this university is only Finnish language, and then you're like, oh, I can't apply, you wouldn't have been here today. But it's because you reach out to them,
Exactly.
to explain yourself to them, and then they're like, okay, go ahead. Because I can relate with this. I remember when I applied for my master's program, then BASA, in my country, you can graduate for like after like 5 years without actually having your certificate, but you have your transcript. And I had applied to the University of Helsinki, and I was told, like, we can't because we don't have their certificate. We can't consider the transcript. But I sent an email to University of Basa even before applying that this is the situation. I don't have my certificate at the moment. I have just my transcript. And they're like, I should apply. And that was how I got it. So what you did, like I it's really commendable and it's something I will encourage everyone out there. If you really love, you are passionate about a particular program or university, reach out to them. Be
Exactly.
open about your present situation. If you have a below 3 GPA, as some of you may be asking, reach out to them, send attach your transcript or your certificate. I have 2 point da 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 GPA. Can I apply for this program? They will go through it and tell you if you can apply or not. So I love
Exactly.
what you mentioned about assumptions. Let's not just hear things. Meanwhile, we have all the information on website. You can
Exactly.
actually contact the university for more information. Why just say, oh, my friend said, this person said? No, go for it yourself. So I am really, really grateful for this time and for you sharing your experience with us. So it means like this is not something I just talk about. This is something that is actually real. you
Exactly. Exactly.
you can apply by yourself. But I want to bring you back to when you applied for this program. Did you do the
Okay.
application all by yourself?
That's another miracle I would actually like to talk about. After contacting the person in the school, and I explained to her about my intention and my interest in the program. So the school actually operates about 7 campuses across Finland. So she said, okay, she was going to contact these different centers to check if there was any space. And that's another thing I need to point out here. When you're talking about these vocational opportunities here in Finland, there are 2 categories of application. One is the continuous application. For instance, maybe in a class where they are studying a particular program, for any reason, if any of the candidates leave during the program, the school most likely would want to bring in someone to substitute or to absorb just to replace that person. So they call that one continuous application. So that category doesn't really fall into this kind of application, what was it called? Schedule
Joint
that
application, separate application. Yeah.
by January or by
Mm.
September so that's another category. So it's important for you, just like Tabi said, to contact the school because most times these opportunities keeps rolling out and you may not know, they may not actually publish it, but you contacting them would actually make you to become aware about the development, which can give you access that you wouldn't have imagined. So just like I was saying, when I contacted the woman, she made an inquiry from the other centers, and fortunately, there was a space for me in Kalayoki. So she told me she was going to do everything for me by herself. So she did the application. And funny enough, even people that came contacting me after I got this, they were trying to like ask, how did I apply? I can't even as I remember how they do the application. That's the truth. The woman did the application. Even when the admission letter came up, she was even the one that sent it to me. So it was just God's divine what's it called, blessing. So I would say.
Wow, that's yeah, it's mind blowing. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah,
So it's just God because just like you
yeah, I got
mentioned, if you didn't send that email, you know,
email. Yeah, that was instrumental to everything. The
and
email.
if you were like, okay, I'm waiting for the next application period, I'm waiting for, so it's just God, like you mentioned. If you didn't, like, it's really amazing. And because one thing about these vocational schools here in Finland is because Finland regards anything that has to do with professional and vocational training a lot.
They are
So
very
maybe
good.
seeing your CV and everything, your education background and everything, and your interest in this, you reaching out, it's like,
Exactly.
okay, he really needs this, and maybe they are looking
Uh,
for this. It's just God, how God kind of like orchestrate things for us. So please be proactive. don't give up.
Exactly.
Like I always say, like I wasn't the one that sent the the email to the school. I always say you can sit behind your computer in your room, or you can send emails, you can apply for schools, and you can get them, you can move to Finland. It's very, very important. You don't need to look for agents that don't have clue about these things. Focus on this channel, of this my channel. That's why I'm putting so much effort in bringing all this to you, because I want you to be proactive. I want you to send emails. I want you to sit down, watch videos, take your pen and your paper, write important information, go back to the university website, reach out to them. That's what I want. When you do all these things and you send me an email, hi Tabi, I applied for this program, this is what you did, I will reply you. I will help. But if you just want me to look for schools, do everything for you, of course you have to pay money for that. But if you are proactive and you just need a little bit of help, I'm available. So I'm encouraging you, just like our brother did. He was proactive. He did his things, like I mentioned, all the things he wrote. I just came in to like, all right, let's go through this thing. Can you take this out? Can you add this? That was what we did. So please use the internet wisely. Be proactive. Send emails to school. Send emails to school. They will always, as I always say, they will always reply. They will reply. You know.
Sure.
Yeah. They will reply. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Is there any one last thing you want to mention before we close this? Is there anything you want to mention?
Yeah, in it all, I believe God is the decider of all, just like I earlier mentioned. So just be proactive and put everything in God's hand. He will actually help you out. And never give up, just like Tabi said. Don't give up. So many of us, we've made several attempts in the past that we met defeat, or let's say rejection. But that didn't stop us. But today, God is still helping us. So don't give up. Don't give up on hope, because at the moment or at the point when you give up on hope, then you can't actually make anything out of life. So just hold on to hope, hold on to God, and winning is non-negotiable for you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for that. And I will leave a link, or you send me a link to your vocational school. I will leave it in the description box so that maybe someone wants to reach out to them. I don't know, but I'm sure the school is gonna receive lots of emails after this. But
I think the school is welcoming. I think so. So they will be open up to absorb people once they meet the criteria. I think so.
Yeah. We'll leave a link in the description box below. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you have been watching this, like this video, share it with your friends so that they'll be able to learn from his experience. All right. So thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all these details with us. Thank you so much. And we wish you all the best in Finland. Maybe we'll get to meet one day. One day when I'm in Olo, whenever I visit Olo, I'll try to reach out.
There's no problem. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.